Hey guys, it's M. And today I found out there's a Ryuken Gaiden and I wanted to share it with you all. Now, I've said before in my other videos, Ryuken is probably one of the most interesting underutilized characters in my opinion. So I really hope that this Gaiden's gonna maybe go over his past, maybe his relationship with Kazumi and Juke, or maybe even who Ryuken's master was. I think this has great potential, especially since it's drawn by the same artist that did Jaggy Gaiden. Since those two are gonna be linked in my mind due to art style, I don't think this one's gonna disappoint me. So without further ado, let's get into the review and recap of Ryuken Gaiden. Our story starts off before the bombs drop, with Ryuken feeling that they're at the end of a century, and he has to make a decision on the successor soon, which also comes with the only time Jaggy's actually represented in one of these pictures with all the Hokuto brothers. We then cut to the scene in the anime where Ken hits Jaggy's pressure points while they're training, and then we cut to them having dinner and a Bible reference? Not sure why it's here, but this will be the last time we see the Hokuto brothers are together. We then see Ken and Yuria talking happily, and Jaggy gets mad at this and attempts to run them over. Jaggy seemingly has a track record for escalating things for no reason. We then cut again, this book cutscenes a lot, to Souther appearing, looking like an absolute goblin at that, at the Hokuto temple and mocking Rao, trying to taunt him into a match. Ryuken shouts at the two of them before they start fighting and tells them to stop and it's against inter-school rules to fight. Jaggy tries to defend his brother, but Ryuken snaps at all of them, asking if they even understand their principles. As Jaggy keeps trying to keep pushing Ryuken basically calls Jaggy a bootlicker and says he'll never pass Hokuto on to him, while Ken and Toki watch on without saying a word. We then get a quick glimpse into the future of Jaggy renouncing Hokuto and saying all that matters is winning. I like this small scene. It shows the problems Ryuken would have passing succession onto either Rao or Jaggy. Rao because of his headstrong dominant nature, and Jaggy because he's a spineless coward, with the two people worthy of succession staying away from the issue entirely. Wish this was expanded upon a bit more in this Gaiden, but we'll get to that a bit later. We then cut again to Rao, who is absolutely ripped out by the way, confronting Ryuken. From here, it's pretty much Rao and Ryuken's final fight, along with Toki saving Ken and Yuria from the bombs. There is one unique scene that they added with the chariots going into action right after they see the bombs drop. The only other unique thing worth pointing out is in the final panels, where Ryuken says he's made the right choice in successor, but Kenshiro might need Rao's help to unlock his potential. Rao responds with respect for his father and says he'll gladly challenge Ken when the time arrives. In the final panel of this chapter is Ryuken happy Rao called him father, and he says he has no regrets. On to the next chapter, Yes, somehow, Ryuken, the previous successor, only gets a one-shot story, where other than some nice art, nothing is really added to the character. Well, instead of ending the video here, what about we talk about how wasted Ryuken is as a character in general, and I promise at the end I'll make both of these points go together. Ryuken, along with pretty much every other HNK master kind of character, was horribly underutilized. You would think for being the 63rd successor of Hokuto, they would have given him a bit more screen time, but unfortunately, he gets smothered out nigh instantly. Rao causing his death before the events of the show is unfortunate, but I can accept that. He's an old man after all, and it did make for a good twist when you didn't know what happened to him. The problem is, even when they decided to bring him up in flashbacks, he hardly gets to do anything in them. Old Ryuken's flashbacks pretty much just make him the generic anime teacher type character. So he's basically a blank slate in the personality department. But in the flashbacks of young Ryuken, he seemed interesting, to the point where he threw his two students, which were both children, off of a cliff because he deemed them unworthy, until Rao managed to scale the cliff alone. Or when Fudo raids the temple, and other than overreacting with immediate violence, he doesn't even really seem to care. Or when he didn't want to train Toki until he half beat a man to death. He seemed set on getting results, with it taking extremes to change his mind, and everything else just seemed secondary. But somehow, maybe even accidentally, in earlier events shown before he was a teacher, he seemed to be a caring person, as evident in his flashbacks where he didn't want to fight Koryu or when he stopped Juke and showed him remorse. This character has all the potential to make for an interesting story, as even the small glimpses shown promise, since his entire younger life is a mystery to us, making it the perfect opportunity for people to tell us about him. But unfortunately, somehow Ryuken Gaiden is probably going to be the only spin-off book we get about him. It's pretty tragic that a book like Ray Gaiden could be made with 50 chapters, but a book about Ryuken, the in my opinion more interesting in concept character, only gets a single chapter. What's more insulting is they brought the artist from Jaggy Gaiden back, which probably has the best portrayal of Ryuken being an actual character. All this for them to do nothing of note with him or even bring up Jaggy Gaiden's events. But anyways, I feel like I've said my piece. I would love to know what you guys think about either of the things I mentioned here, and with that, I guess I should rate it. Since I rated all the other ones, that would just only be fair. If I had to give it anything, I'd probably give it a 3. Not because it's bad or anything, but just because it doesn't matter at all. I wouldn't even recommend it because there's nothing here to recommend. It's events you've already seen if you watch the show. With the new stuff, they added feeling like padding to make the book slightly longer. But yeah, for real this time, I've been in, and I am out.